Go on. Take it. Touch it.
The red-hooded wandering slave Knight Gael sought the blood of the dark soul as pigment for the painted world. But Gael knew he was no champion, that the dark soul would likely ruin him, and that he had little hope of a safe return. He left the painted world to find an Ashen One to complete the prophecy and burn away the painted world along with the rot that had infested it. Then, in search for the dark soul, he traveled to the ringed city so that his lady could complete her painting and replace the painted world. As a boss, Gael is considered by many to be the ultimate final boss of Dark Souls 3 and the final boss of the entire Dark Souls series. He has the largest boss arena in the entire series and boasts a huge health pool, good defenses, and a wide variety of sword attacks mixed up with spells and crossbow shots. So, can you beat him with just a +4 dagger? At soul level 30, while cosplaying as the Pope? Let's find out! This is part of my low level challenge run, so here's a quick rundown of the rules. The maximum soul level is level 30 and the maximum upgrade level is +4 or +2 for weapons that only go to +5, and I can only use daggers. Consumables like throwing knives and resins are allowed, however. The Pope cosplay is not part of the rules, it just kinda happened during the playthrough. Anyway, let's get started. For every other boss in this run I could rely on the bandit knife and its bleed buildup. Unfortunately, Gael is resistant to both slash damage and the bleed buildup from the bandit knife, so I'll have to think of something else. Alright, let's take a look at his weaknesses. There are no daggers that do strike damage, no dagger has frostbite, and I can't use the frozen weapon spell. Toxic is basically impossible to apply for the player outside of Dunk Pies and the Toxic Mist Pyromancy, both of which I'm not going to use. Dunk Pies are shit and using Pyromancy is not in the spirit of the run. That only leaves regular poison, which does terrible damage. Poison it is! I wanted to just throw up a quick calculation of how long it would take for Gael to die from poison. However, you're getting this tangent instead. During the editing of this video, I looked over a lot of info related to poison in Dark Souls 3, and the thing is, I've noticed something in my footage and subsequent testing. Well, two things, but we'll get to that. So, when the fight starts, I buff my dagger with rotten pine resin and hit Gael with a bunch of dagger attacks, and eventually he's poisoned. Great. The poison takes for 10 damage per second, I continue the fight, hit him with more dagger attacks, and suddenly I notice that the poison damage seems to have sped up. That's not supposed to happen. On closer inspection, it seems that there are two dots damaging Gael right now. The first one ticking for 10 damage per second and another one ticking for 17 damage per second. Somehow it seems I've poisoned Gael twice and I can't find anything about this anywhere, except this one post on Reddit who noticed that there was something weird about poison with Gael, but that's already where the trail ends. I know that it's not toxic that's applied separately to the poison, because neither the rotten Gru dagger nor the rotten pine resin can inflict toxic. The other thing is that, as far as I can tell, there is no way that poison should even be able to deal 10 damage per second to Gael. Using the normal poison formula, we get 17 damage per second for a total of 1530 damage over the 90-second duration. The 10 damage per second dot deals 900 damage over its duration, and that's a value that none of the known poison formulas can produce for Gael. Another thing is that this only seems to happen when I'm using the rotten pine resin to buff the rotten Gru dagger. I guess that makes three things that I've noticed. I have no idea what's going on here, but it's definitely weird. This double poison only seems to happen in the first phase. No matter how much I try, I can't apply it in the second or third phase. The poison in the second and third phase ticks for 17 damage per second, just like the second dot in phase 1. Maybe it's because phase 1 Gael uses a different model than phase 2 and 3 Gael? Maybe each model has its own health bar and both health bars are combined into the boss health bar. And maybe because of a bug, the poison is applied to both models and you can't trigger it twice after phase 1 because phase 1 Gael's already dead. That is just speculation though. If you have any idea what's happening, let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so this fight is actually pretty straightforward, even with the terrible poison damage. Step 1. Get the Rotten Grue Dagger. Step 2. Infuse it with a Hollow Gem to get just a tiny bit more poison built up while still being able to use Pine Resins. Step 3. Buy all the Rotten Pine Resin you can afford. Step 4. Poison Gael. Step 5. Dodge Gael until the poison runs out. Step 5.5. Get in some chip damage whenever you can. Step 6. Go to step 4. Normally this is where I would show you a bunch of failed attempts, but I did this on my first attempt. So let's just get straight into the fight.
What? Still here?
Yeah, I didn't quit yet.
Hand it over, that thing, your dark soul. For my lady's painting.
In the first phase it is very easy to poison Gael and then bait his jump/lunge attacks to get in some chip damage. This is not a good area to fight him. And this boss arena is absolutely massive. Alright, he's poisoned. Ah, that's how much damage a hit does. Phase 2!
Is this the blood? The blood of the dark soul.
In the second phase, his attacks become less erratic, but he deals more damage and the attacks cover a wider area. No problem though, just dodge the attack with Quickstep and keep on poisoning Gael and dealing chip damage. Alright, I think it's worth embering here. How is Gael doing less damage per hit than Half-Light? At the start of the third phase, Gael releases a mass of souls and lightning starts hitting the stage. Some of his attacks also gain a new follow-up attack, but all in all, the third phase is just like the second phase. Now the real fight begins. I do like that Gael can also get hit by the lightning and take damage from it. Something like that. It's not much, but that it's not just something for only the player is what's good about it. Ooh, now he's dealing the real damage. Alright, he's poisoned again. I think at this stage of the fight, the best strategy for me is to would be to just run away and re-poison him as necessary. At least that's the least risky maneuver. Dodging is most of this fight anyway. But there's always just a little room to have to get some attacks in. A few hits with a dagger, or even if you're playing with an ultra greatsword, you can at least get a single hit in. Poisoned anymore. Oh. Dangerous. Alright, he's poisoned again. Back to dodging. There we go. First try. So what did we learn today? Half-Light is infinitely harder than Gael. In the end, I think I did more damage with the dagger slashes than with the poison, but the poison absolutely pulled its weight, especially in the second and third phase when there were times where I couldn't attack Gael for a while. Now, with Gael dead, that only leaves one boss, the Soul of Cinder. See you next time! If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, and if you would like to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to the channel.